Good morning, friends. Join me if you would as we read Ephesians chapter 4, verses 1 to 6. The Apostle Paul writes, I, therefore, a prisoner for the Lord, urge you to walk in a manner worthy of the calling to which you've been called, with all humility and gentleness, with patience, bearing with one another in love, eager to maintain the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace. And then it's like Paul wants to reinforce why this unity of the Spirit is so important. So he continues, there is one body and one Spirit, just as you were called to the one hope that belongs to your call. One Lord, one faith, one baptism, one God and Father of all, who is over all and through all and in all. Here we see another call to unity and peace, of course, within the church body. And Paul says that when we live like this, we are then living in a way that is worthy of the calling to which we've been called. And while this doesn't mean that we are then earning salvation or anything like that, because at this point we've already been saved, we've already been justified, but it does mean that we are being faithful to live the way God has called us to live as His children. And when we can do that and we can see that that's happening, that's incredibly encouraging and very joyful. And in the power of Christ's righteousness, this is possible. We absolutely can have unity and peace in the church and in our lives like this. But then again, Paul takes great pains to reveal the source of that unity, that oneness. He immediately points to the one hope that belongs to your call, to the one Lord, one faith, one baptism, one God and Father of all. Again, we are called to reflect the very character of God. As He is one, so we should be one with each other through the Holy Spirit. And so we again see the call to humility and gentleness, patience, bearing with one another, and the eagerness to maintain the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace in this way. Now, let's also notice how Paul begins this instruction by saying, I, therefore, a prisoner of the Lord, urge you. Because we're already in chapter 4 of Ephesians, so it's not like Paul needs to introduce himself again, but he does. He refers to himself in particular as a prisoner of the Lord. Why does he do this? Well, I believe it's because he understands full well that this call to unity and peace in the truth of God, it doesn't come naturally. It's hard, it's difficult, there's many hurdles to it. So he subtly reminds his readers that he is currently in Rome in prison due to his service for the Lord. And that required him to make sacrifices to do what doesn't come naturally. So as he urges the Ephesian believers to unity and peace, he gives this subtle reminder as if to say, hey, this is hard stuff, but God calls us to do hard stuff. I am shackled to a Roman guard even as I write you this letter. So don't look at this call to unity. Don't be this idea of being peacemakers in the church, and don't then say it's too hard. It's not too hard. We just have to remember who we serve. We serve Christ and not ourselves. We seek His righteousness, not our own prideful desires. We look to please Him, and once again, not ourselves. And so we humble ourselves and we approach our brothers and sisters with gentleness and love, and then we will be living just as God has called us to live, to His praise and glory and honor. And may that be our one true desire. So that's the thought I want to leave you with today. It's a short thought, but a powerful one. I love you guys. Have a good and godly day. And if the Lord allows, I'll catch you next time.